Hi guys, welcome to Code Bashers. In this video, I will be discussing advanced coding questions which were previously asked in TCA Digital Hiring. Guys, this is part 2 of this series. Part 1, that is the question 1, has already been uploaded on my channel. So guys, make sure that after watching this video, you watch part 1 also. Guys, if you're new to this channel, make sure that you subscribe it as well as join my Telegram group also. I post regular updates on different companies which are hiring as well as the questions which are getting asked in them. So guys, now let's start this video, and before starting a video, please hit the like button as well as subscribe button for this channel. Okay, so guys, the question here is on set theory which was previously asked in TCA Digital Hiring. Guys, this question is little big, but believe me, it is very simple to implement. There is just 5 to 6 line of code, and yes, we will get all the answers correct. Okay, so guys, this is the question that we have already done in class 11th and 12th. This is set theory based question, and this question is similar to the questions we have done in mathematics of class 11th and 12th. So make sure that you watch this till the end so that you can get to know the logic behind it. Okay, so guys, this is the entire question. Now this particular Venn diagram have been made by me. It was not given in the question, but I have made it here so that it can so that things become clear to you easily. Okay, so now let's start by reading the question. Okay, a coding competition was conducted in company with E employees. So there were total E employees in the company. Data of employees who participated and who did not participate in the competition is available. That will be given to us. There were 3 problems in the coding competition. Data as mentioned below is available. Okay, so till now we understand that. See, there were total E employees and there were total 3 coding questions in that particular competition. Now we have the data of the employees who participated and data of the employees who did not participated. Now the number of employees who have solved only the first question, only the second question, and only the third problem are equal. Okay, so guys, this is the Venn diagram. Here every ring represents a question. So this leftmost ring represents question 1, this represents question 2, and this represents question 3. Now the number of employees who have only solved the first question, only solve the second question, and only solve the third questions are equal. We do not have any particular variable to define them, but we know that the number of employees are equal. So let us give the number as x. That means the x is the number of employees who have solved question 1 also. Oh sorry, only question 1, only question 2, and only question 3. So x who has solved question 1, x who has solved question 2, and x who have solved question 3. So this x represents the employees who have only solved question 1 or question 2 or question 3. Okay, so first point is clear to you. Now P1 employees who solved the first and second problem. Now there are P1 employees in the company who solved both question 1 as well as question 2. So the intersection of these rings lie here, that is P1. So this will be P1. Now P2 employees who solved second question and third question. So the intersection of Q2 and Q3 lies here. So there will be P2 employees who solved both the questions, that is question 2 and question 3. So let's just say P2 is here. Now next is P3 employees who solved the first question as well as the third question. So here is the intersection. Here this represents P3, that is the employees who solved question 1 and question 3. Now next is, okay, so then there were Q employees who solved all the 3 problems, that is they solved question 1 also, question 2 also, question 3 also. So here we will find the intersection of all the 3 rings, and this is where the intersection occur. So here we will write Q, that there are Q employees who have solved all the 3 problems. Now there were R employees who did not participate in the competition only. So we know that there were total E employees in the company, and out of those R employees did not even participate in the competition. So these 2 things we have to remember most. Okay, so now this particular question is over. Now see, I have to see this P1. What does this P1 represent? See, most of you will make mistake here only. This P1 represents the number of people who solved both question 1 and question 2. It means that this particular P1, the sector of this P1 is this particular thing only, this entire intersection of question 1 and question 2. So this P1 represents entire intersection of question 1 and question 2. So I am marking it with my cursor. See, this is the sector that P1 represents. So now we have to find that particular sector only where this question solved by a candidate is only Q1 and Q2 and not Q3, because here in the intersection it lies that in P1 it is involved that P1 question 1 and question 2 is solved plus question 3 is also solved. Now we have to find the sector where only question 1 and question 2 is solved, not question 3. So this particular sector, again see my cursor, this particular section lies where the people have solved only question 1 and question 2 and not question 3. So what will be value of this particular sector? What will be the value of this particular sector? That will be P1 minus Q. So I hope this thing is clear to you. So this was the crux of this problem, that this sector will represents P1 minus Q. Similarly, the people who solved only question 1 and question 3, the sector represents P3 minus Q. That is this particular sector. Just a second. That means this particular section, that is, see this cursor. This cursor represents the people who only solved question 1 and question 2. That is P3 minus Q. Because P3 was entire this area plus, so this area represents the people who solved only question 1 and question 3. And similarly with P2, P2 represents entire area of intersection between question 2 and question 3. So P2 minus Q represents those candidates who solved only question 2 and question 3 and not question 1. So this is what the Venn diagram have become now. So I hope now the question is clear and how these positions are referring. Now one thing more, what does this X represent? So X represents the number of people who have solved question 1 in this particular ring. So X represents number of people who have only solved question 1. That is, again, this, see my cursor, this area from here to here, this particular area. This particular area has been represented by X only. So I hope now these things are clear, and similarly X here also represents this thing only and X here also represents this only. Okay, now this was the question, and based on that question we have formed our Venn diagram. Now what we have to answer, in the question, answer the following question based on the data that is given to us. How many employees have solved first problem? That is, how many employees have solved first problem. It means this entire ring will be covered. All the people lying in this entire ring of question 1 will be the answer of the first particular part. Second part, how many employees have solved exactly one of the 3 problems? See, X have solved question 1, X employees have solved question 1 only, here also X employees have solved question 2 only, and here also X employees have solved question 3 only. So how many employees have solved exactly one question? That will be X plus X plus X, that is 3X. So these will be the values, and see, out of all these values that we have, that P1, Q, P3, R, we are not given the value of X. We have assumed the value of X. So first you have to find the value of X, and then once you find the value of X, both the questions will be answered easily. So I hope now the question is clear to you, and I have made this Venn diagram also to make the things clear. Now I will be making the Venn diagram of the input that is given to us. Okay, so this is the Venn diagram I have made earlier to explain you things. Now we will be making a new Venn diagram based on the values that is given to us as an input. Okay, so first value is 30, that is P1. What was P1? Those who have solved question 1 and question 2. So let's just write P1 here as it is first. This is just I am writing, I will explain you later. Now next is 26, that is P2. So P2 was here. Okay, so P2 was here, that is 26. Okay, now next was P3, that was 28, that was here. Okay, now there was 14, that was Q. 14 was Q. Okay, now 345 represents E. So there were total number of employees in the company, that is 345. Now let's just write R. Next value, last value is 43, that is R. So R here represents 43, that is those people who have not taken any part in the competition. Now again, see here, this 30 represents entire this value. So what will be the value of this sector only? This sector only. That will be 30 minus 14. That will be 16. That is P minus Q, 16. P1 minus Q, sorry. So here it is 26. Again, that was P2. So the value here of this particular sector only, that will be 26 minus 14. That will be 26 minus 14 is 12. Now similarly here also 28 was this entire value. The value of this sector will be 28 minus 14. That will be 14 only. Now first thing that we have to find was the total number of employees who have done all these questions, or only the question 1. Now for finding the only question 1, we have to do X plus 16 plus 14 plus 14, but we do not have X, so simply we cannot do it now. Now the second thing we have to find was the people who have done exactly one question, that is X plus X plus X, that is 3X. Again, that is not possible to find because we do not know the value of X. Now here comes the logic, that how we will find it. Now guys, see, if we sum the entire Venn diagram, what it will give? If we will sum the entire Venn diagram, so let me just sum it. If we will sum the entire Venn diagram, it will be X plus P1 minus Q plus again X plus P2 minus Q plus X plus P3 minus Q plus Q. I hope you have understood it. We have added all the terms. We have added all the terms here in the inside the Venn diagram. Now, what this value will be equal to? This value will be equal to the total number of candidates who have participated. Now, how will calculate the total number of candidates who have participated? We will do total employees minus the employees that have not participated. That is E. That will be the total number of employees minus the candidates who have not participated. That is R. So I hope this entire relation is clear to you. Because of this relation only we will find the value of x and we will find all the values ahead. Now first let's just find the value of x only. So let's just break down this equation further. So x plus x, 3 times there is x, so we will do 3x plus there will be q minus q minus q minus q minus 3q plus q, that is minus 2q minus 2q plus it will be P1 plus P2 plus P3, P1 plus P2 plus P3. Now it will be equivalent to E minus R. I have told you earlier also. Now we have done this entire equation. Now all the values are given to us, all these values are given to us, Q, P1, P2, P3, E and R. But we do, and using these values we can easily find the value of 3x. So 3x will be equivalent to, if we will take all these variables to the left side, that will be E minus R plus 2q minus P1, okay, minus P1 minus P2 and minus P3. So we just have to solve the value of, we just have to put these values and we have to solve for the equation. So what was the value of E? That was 345. 345 minus what was R? That was 43. Okay, then we have to do plus 2q. 2 into q was, sorry, minus 2q. It was minus 2q. Okay, so, oh sorry, plus 2q only. That will be equivalent to 14 to, that is 28 plus 28, then minus P1 minus P2 minus P3. So P1, that is 30 plus 26, that is 56, 56, 64, 84. So minus 84 we have to do. Now what will be the answer? That will be equivalent to 246. Now what does this 246 represents? 246 here represents 3x. 246 here represents 3x. Now what does 3x represents? Guys, 3x is the answer for the second question. That is, how many employees have solved exactly one of the three problems, and what was their answer? X, this x plus this x plus this particular x. Okay, so that will be equal to 3x. So I've answered to this third question. Oh sorry, second question has come, that is 3x equal to 246. 246 employees are there who have exactly solved only one problem. Now one part is over. Now let's just find the value of x from this particular equation. X will be equivalent to 246 divided by 3. So what will be 246 divided by 3 equivalent to 82. Okay, so now our x value is 82. Now what is the, now we have to find the answer of the first part. How will find the answer of the first part? That is the number of the candidates who have solved only first question. That will be x plus 16 plus 14 plus 14. What will the value of x was? 82. Let's just solve it. X was 82. Now 82 plus 14 plus 14 plus 16, that is 28. 28 plus 10 is 38 plus 6 is 44. That will be equal to 44. We will simply do 126. Now our x value has become 126. No, sorry, no, not the value of x. It has become the answer 1. So you can see that answer 1 is 126. There were 126 people who solved the first question, and the number of people who have solved the only one question, that is 246, that is 3x. So this was the entire logic behind it. Now writing code is very simple. There will be only 3 to 4 lines of code that will be present here. So I hope the logic is clear to you, that how we'll be approaching this particular problem. We just have to arrive at this, particular equation. We just had to arrive at this particular equation. Now we will simply implement this equation in writing the code, and then our question is over and we will get the final answer. So entire thing for this question was understanding the logic and trying to form this particular equation that will give us the answer. Okay, so now let's just write the code then. Okay, so I have already written the boilerplate code. See, this is the input that how you will take all these values. First will be P1, then P2, then P3, then Q, then E, then R. So this was the sequence in which you have to take the input. Then I have called the helper function in which I have passed all these things as a parameter. Now I will simply, now we have to find the answer for two particular questions that was given to us. So first I have told you that first we have found the solution of the second question. Then we have using that particular thing we have found the first answer. Now the equation for the second question was E minus R plus 2q. let me just copy paste only. Okay, so let's just say int second. This is the answer for the second question. This is the equation, that is e minus r. Let me just do it small because I have passed all the parameters as small. So 2 into q minus, you can say p1, then minus p2, then minus p3. So this was the second variable store the answer of the second thing. Now we have to find the value of x that we have seen. So how will we find the value of x? That will be second divided by 3. So I hope this thing is clear to you. Now we'll find the value of the first answer. What was the answer? What was the value of first? That was equivalent to, what was the equation? Do you remember? So it was, what was it? Let's just sum this thing. X plus p1 minus q plus p3 minus q. Okay. So it was x. What is it? Okay, x plus p1 minus q plus q plus p3 minus q. And in the end, what we'll do, we will first print out the value of C out first answer, then we'll print out the value of second answer, that is C out second. So let's just quickly run on the test case that was given to us. That was 30, 26. Okay, 30, 26, 3, 45, 43. That is control C. Again, we are doing control V, and now let's just run it. So we should get our correct output. Let's hope that. Okay, there was an syntax error, that was second here. I hope there are no more syntax error. Okay, so there was one again. What was it? Okay, 13 first. Okay, so sorry. Here we have to return 0 because it is the int function, and here we just have to call, you can simply call helper only. That doesn't matter, that it is still a returning function. Okay, so 126 and 246. So again we have to print it in the separate lines. So I hope the things are clear to you, because our answer is coming out to be correct, and that was only because of the equation that we found. So first was 126, then was 246. So first was 126, then was 246. So as I have told you that this is just a 6-line code that you have to write. So this entire big question, just using the Venn diagrams and just using the logic, got converted into 6 line of code. So this is how a TCA data exam is. You do not have to worry more things for data structure, algorithm, or you can say trees, graphs. They are not asked, but just the logical questions are asked. So guys, this was it for this video. I hope you liked the video. Please hit the like button, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and please join my Telegram group. Thank you for watching this video.